EndNote on Windows, the short course. This overview of EndNote will show you how to use the basic features in EndNote to gather and manage reference materials. Then take those reference materials and create formatted bibliographies in your documents. Create an EndNote library by selecting New from the File menu. EndNote will name the file My EndNote Library, but the name can be changed. Do not save it in any cloud syncing folders, such as those for Dropbox or OneDrive. Syncing folders such as these will corrupt the EndNote library over time. Also, do not save it to a network drive. EndNote libraries must be kept on your computer's hard drive. Click the Save button to save the new library. For the remainder of this lesson, I will use the sample library that is included with the program. It can be found in the Public Documents EndNote Examples folder. The library shows three main panels. These panels can be controlled using the Layout button in the bottom right corner of the screen, and panels can be resized. The Reference panel, shown here on the right, will show details about highlighted references and their attached PDFs. The references will show in a list in the center. Groups such as the All References and Unfiled groups shown here, and groups you create for yourself, show on the left side of the screen. Above the panels is a toolbar with shortcut buttons for popular commands. Above the Groups panel, there are three Mode buttons, which control how online search works. The first button is Local Library Mode. It shows the references and groups in my library. The second button is Online Search Mode. It shows a preview window where I can search online and examine the retrieved references. In the Groups panel, I see a list of default favorite online searches. To search databases not listed among my favorites, I click More underneath the list of favorites. This brings up a list of all the installed online search files on my computer. Additional online search files can be downloaded from our website or added by performing a custom installation of EndNote. Databases showing Library Catalog under the Information Provider heading are generally available to the public. Other databases may require a subscription or special setup. For this example, I will search the PubMed database from the U.S. National Library of Medicine. I select PubMed from the list. Then click the Choose button. The Search panel will appear and the database to be searched will be highlighted in the Groups panel. The Search panel can be resized. I select the field in which the search term must be located from the list of fields. Then enter my first search term in the first line. If I have more than one search term, I can choose how these terms will be linked together from the drop-down list of available Boolean connectors. EndNote always reads the search top to bottom. So if I will be mixing connectors in the search, I will obtain my best results by following this order for connecting search terms. Use the OR connector first to broaden the search. Use the AND connector next to narrow the search. Use the NOT connector last to exclude items from the results. There may be exceptions to this rule, but in most cases this strategy will return the best results. I click the Search button to perform the search. EndNote will report the number of references found. I click the OK button to import the found references into my preview library. The online references and PubMed groups now show the references that were imported from PubMed. These references are only in the preview library. To add them to my permanent library, I highlight or select all the references I want to copy to my permanent library. Then I click the Copy to Local Library button. After copying my references, I click the Local Library Mode button. A copied references group is now displayed in my library. This is a temporary group showing all the references copied from my online search. The next time I copy references from online search, this group will be overwritten. So I want to start organizing my references now while they are easy to see. In my online search, I excluded references with the phrase sushi domain, but I will be importing some with the phrase later. I would like to set up groups and a group set for my sushi project that will organize references with the phrase apart from references about sushi the food. First, I will create a group set for the project. Group sets are used to organize groups and can be dragged up or down the screen, allowing me to keep my current projects on top. I select Create Group Set from the Groups menu. Type in the name of my group set and press the Enter key. Now I would like to add a custom group under my sushi group set to hold every reference I add to my project. To create a custom group, I select Create Group from the Groups menu. Type in the name of the new group and press the Enter key. I select the references I want to add to the custom group, then click and drag them to the group. Smart groups are based on a search strategy and will automatically update, so I won't have to drag the references to a smart group. I select Create Smart Group from the Groups menu and type in the name of the new smart group. I build my search strategy for the smart group, then click the Create button to create the smart group. All the references with the term sushi domain will be shown in my new smart group. The smart group will automatically update because it is based on a search. I can also create a group that will show me which references are in my sushi in general group, but not in my sushi domains smart group. This time I select Create From Groups from the Groups menu. I name the group. I select Sushi in General as my first group. Then I select Not from the drop-down list of connectors and pick Sushi Domains as my second group. I click the Create button to create the group. As I add references to my Sushi in General group, my Not Sushi Domains group will be automatically updated. When importing references from a website using my browser, both the database I am importing from and the browser will affect the process. For examples, I will import a set of references from the Web of Science core collection using Google Chrome and a set of references from PubMed using Firefox. I perform my search in the Web of Science. I can mark the records I want to export or mark no records to select a range of records later. I select Save to EndNote Desktop from the drop-down list. I fill in the range of records I want to import, up to a maximum of 500 records. I select Full Record from the Record Contents drop-down list to import author addresses and keywords as well as bibliographic data. Note that this option may not be available if you are not searching the Web of Science core collection. Then I click the Send button. The first time I export from Chrome, I click the small arrow on the button that appears in the bottom left corner, then select Open. I select More Apps. This screen may be different in different versions of Windows. I select the EndNote program, then click the OK button. The references are imported into my library and are shown in the Imported References temporary group. Notice that some of the new references are already shown in the Sushi Domains group. When I select and drag the imported references to the Sushi in General group, the Not Sushi Domains group also updates. At PubMed, I perform my search, this time in Firefox. I could then mark the references I want, or not mark any of the references if I want all of them or a range of them. I click the Send To link. Then choose Citation Manager. I select the number of citations to send and the citation number to start with, then click Create File. The first time I use Firefox to import from a database, I will see this window. I click Open With, then Other, then the EndNote program. I click the OK button. I click the OK button. The references are automatically imported into the Imported References group and the Sushi Domains group is automatically updated. When I select the imported references and drag them to the Sushi in General group, the Not Sushi Domains group is also automatically updated. When importing PDFs, I can import a single file or a folder of PDFs. For this example, I will import a folder of PDFs. I select Import from the File menu, then select Folder. I click the Choose button to locate and select the folder. Note that my example has a subfolder. I click the OK button to choose the selected folder. To include the subfolders, I mark the Include Files in Subfolders box. I leave the Duplicates option set to Import All because EndNote will try to identify existing records in my library that match the PDFs. If it identifies a match, it will attach the PDF to the existing record instead of creating a new record. I click the Import button. EndNote searches the first 2 pages of the text and the metadata for a DOI, a Digital Object Identifier. If it finds one, it sends that DOI to PubMed and Crossref. These databases look up the data, send the data back to EndNote, EndNote imports the data, then attaches the PDF. Note that not all PDFs will be importable. The best results will be from publisher-created PDFs. Older PDFs without DOIs and scanned PDFs will not be importable. Once again, I drag the new imported references to my Sushi in General folder. EndNote can also find PDFs for me. First, I must select the records I want EndNote to find matching PDFs for. Then select Find Full Text from the References menu, and then Find Full Text again, or click the Find Full Text button. Under the Find Full Text group set at the bottom of the Groups panel, EndNote displays the status of its search. When it finishes, there may be up to 3 groups of results. 1. References that EndNote found and was able to download a PDF for. 2. References that EndNote was unable to download a PDF for, but found a link that appears to be for a PDF and downloaded that link into the URL field. And 3. References that EndNote was unable to find anything for. To read or annotate a PDF in EndNote, click the Open PDF button to open the PDF in a larger window. I have annotation tools such as a highlighter and sticky notes to mark up my PDF. When I am finished working with the PDF, the Open PDF button has now become a Close PDF button to let me close the PDF and save my changes. You can customize PDF handling and find full text settings in the EndNote preferences. Let me now switch to the Preview tab to show how my references will be formatted in the bibliography. I have selected the APA style in EndNote. References formatted according to that style should show the full journal name, but I see that some of my previews show abbreviations while others show the full name. I want EndNote to format them consistently with the full journal name. EndNote can do this if I set up a journal's term list, which acts as a lookup list for the different versions of the journal name. I start by selecting Open Term Lists from the Tools menu, then Journals Term List. This list has been built from the records I've imported to my library and has many names in the wrong column. Which column a name is in will depend on the database the original record was imported from. I must first clean out this list by selecting all the items in the list and clicking Delete Term. This will not change any of the records in my library. Then I go to the Lists tab and select Import List. In the EndNote Terms List folder, I find a set of the lists included with EndNote, and I import the list that best matches my area of study by selecting it and clicking the Open button. EndNote reports how many journals were imported, and I click the OK button. When I return to the Terms tab, I now see thousands of journals with the full names and abbreviations in the correct columns. I click the Close button to close the term list. Now when I examine the preview window with the APA style selected, I see that all my journal names are showing the full name. This is how they will appear in my bibliography. I'm now ready to start working with my references in Microsoft Word. I can search my EndNote library from within Word using the Insert Citation button. I place my cursor where I want to add a citation and click in the top part of the Insert Citation button. In the window displayed, I enter a word or set of words that are anywhere in the record I want to locate. For this example, I will search for all records containing the words tool and use. I enter the search terms, then click the Find button or press the Enter key. EndNote searches all open libraries and brings up a list of records that contain the search terms. A library must be open in EndNote for EndNote to search it from Word. At the bottom right of the window, I see the number of records found. When I select a reference in the list, I see the details of that reference in the lower part of the window. To insert a reference in the paper, I select a reference or references and click on the small arrow on the Insert button to see options for formatting citations. I select my preferred option from the drop-down list. The references are inserted in my paper and the citation and bibliography are instantly formatted. Another way to add references to my paper is to select them in the EndNote library, then insert them in my Word document using a combination of the Go to EndNote command and the Insert Citation command. I place my cursor where I want to insert the citation, then click the Go to EndNote button. This command takes me to the EndNote program and displays the active library. I select a reference or set of references to insert. With the reference selected, I click the Insert Citation button on the EndNote toolbar. I am returned to Word and the references are inserted at the cursor location. Let me repeat that. I place the cursor where I want the new reference. I go to EndNote, select my reference, then click the Insert Citation button. Once again, the bibliography and citation are instantly formatted. I open the Configure Bibliography command by selecting the small arrow at the bottom right of the bibliography group. The first tab, Format Bibliography, allows me to select the bibliographic style to be used in my document from a drop-down list. This Favorites list contains the styles I have used before, along with several of the most popular bibliographic styles. If I want to add a new style to the list, I select the Browse button to bring up a list of the styles installed on my computer. I select the style I want to use from the list. For this document, APA. Click OK to close the window. I can set citations in the document to be hyperlinked to the matching references in the bibliography. I can also set if the hyperlinks will be underlined in a blue font. The APA style also requires double spacing for my bibliography, and I would like to add a title above the bibliography. The Layout tab will allow me to change these options. On the Layout tab, I can select the font and font size that will be used for my entire bibliography. I can add a title, such as Reference List. If I want to format that title differently from the rest of my bibliography, selecting the title's text, then clicking the Text Format button will let me change the font for just the title. Click OK to close the window. If I were using a numbered style, the Start with Bibliography Number option would let me start that bibliography with any number I wanted. This option does not apply to footnotes. Word controls the numbering of footnotes. To add citations to footnotes, first insert the footnote using Word, then insert the EndNote citation into the footnote. First line indent will change the indentation of the first line of each reference. Whether or not there is a hanging indent is set in the style, but in this window I can change how wide that hanging indent will be. The line spacing option applies to all the text in the bibliography, and here I will change it to double to match the APA requirements. The Space After option allows me to add extra lines after each reference. These would be in addition to the spacing set using the line spacing option. When all options are set, I click the OK button to apply the changes. Formatted citations contain hidden field codes, indicated here by the gray shading. And if I try to delete text from a formatted citation, or type directly into it, those changes will disappear the next time the bibliography updates. The correct way to edit citations is to use the Edit and Manage Citations command. For the citations in my paper, I will make the following changes. For one, I will omit the author's name because it has been used in the preceding sentence, and add page numbers. For the grouped citation, I will remove a citation from the group. I begin by clicking the Edit and Manage Citations button. I select a citation from the list in the upper part of the window. In the lower part of the window, the Reference tab will show the details for that EndNote record, so I can be sure I am working with the correct reference. The Edit Citation tab will let me edit the citation. To remove an author's name from a citation, I select the citation from the list, then select Exclude Author from this drop-down list. In the Pages field, I'll add the page number for this citation. Note that the Pages field is not used in all styles and may not work for some styles I use, but the prefix and suffix fields will always work. In the suffix field, I'll add comma, table 2, just as an example of how the field works. With the prefix and suffix fields, I must include any additional spacing or punctuation marks. This edit is citation specific. If I cite the same reference later on in the document, EndNote will show the default information for that citation, with none of the customization shown here. For the grouped citation, I want to remove the reference by von Baern. I select the reference to be removed and choose Remove Citation from the drop-down list at the right. When finished, I click the OK button to display the changes. In my first example, you no longer see the author's name in the citation, and now you see a page number and a suffix. The former grouped citation no longer shows the von Baern reference. Before I started using EndNote on the desktop, I had created an EndNote Online account through the Web of Science and have a small library of online references. I would now like to use EndNote Sync to synchronize the online and desktop libraries so I can access my references anywhere. I click the Configure Sync button in the Groups panel. Note, if you are following along, do not sync the sample library. Only your personal library should be synced. I enter the email address I am using for my EndNote Online account and my password. Then click the OK button and click the Sync button. EndNote authorizes my account, but pauses to tell me this is the first time I have synced a library on this computer and suggests I create a backup first. This is a wise precaution, so I click the Yes button. EndNote uses the same name for the backup library as the original library, but adds a .enlx extension to show this is a compressed or zipped file. Click the Save button. EndNote copies all the references and groups in my online library to the desktop, and all the references and groups in my desktop library to online. But only the custom groups will appear online. If I sync the online library to a second computer, all the groups and group sets would appear on the second computer, even though they do not appear online. Always sync to an empty library on the second computer to avoid duplicates. After my first sync, any change I make in any of my synced libraries will be mirrored to all the other synced libraries. This means if I delete references or attachments online, they will be deleted from my synced desktop libraries as well. I now have an EndNote library I can access from anywhere using a web browser, or I can work with it on the desktop. If I am using the EndNote iPad app, I can also work with it on the iPad.